Day two of the Democratic National Convention ended with back-to-back speeches by the Obamas, with the former president and First Lady recalling hope and assailing Donald Trump. They may have electrified the Democrats, but Barack Obama pointed to the tight race that still lies ahead.
If we work like we've never worked before, if we hold firm to our convictions, we will elect Kamala Harris as the next president of the United States and Tim Walz as the next vice president of the United States. We will elect leaders up and down the ballot who will fight for the hopeful, forward-looking America we all believe in.
But for many in the audience, the star of the show was Michelle Obama, who enthralled the arena in her hometown of Chicago. If elected, Ms. Harris will be America's second black president. And in endorsing her, Mrs. Obama summoned her own grievances about the way Donald Trump regularly attacked her husband, along racial lines.
For years, Donald Trump did everything in his power to try to make people fear us. See, his limited, narrow view of the world made him feel threatened by the existence of two hardworking, highly educated, successful people who happen to be black.
The Obamas will be a tough act to follow, but all eyes are on Tim Walz today, who will take to the stage and officially accept the nomination to be Kamala Harris's White House running mate. And for more, Simon Marks joins us from Chicago. Simon, Tim, as we just mentioned, the Obamas will be a hard act to follow. Tim Walz risen to popularity within the Democrats recently with many viral moments and a charm offensive that has seen him become a darling of the DNC. What can we expect when he takes to the stage later?
Well, you know, Wei Su, there are some strategists here who are saying that the Obamas are such a tough act to follow that it's a good idea that the Democrats have separated their appearance at this convention from Kamala Harris's appearance on Thursday night by 24 hours. But that means the pressure is on Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, now Kamala Harris's running mate. And there's added pressure on him because in polling this week, only 4 out of 10 Americans say they know who he is. Now, the flip side of those polls is that those Americans say that they have a higher approval rating of him. They approve of him more than they do of Senator J.D. Vance, Donald Trump's running mate on the Republican side. So for Tim Walz, there is opportunity but also risk in this speech. He has to introduce himself to the large number of voters out there that are not familiar with him as a personality or with his political philosophy and record. There's an opportunity there because of some of those viral moments that have already taken place that have shown Americans that he is indeed a big personality and someone who can absolutely marshal an argument off the cuff when he needs to. But there's also risk because in some of those viral moments, Republicans have already argued that he's gone a little bit too far. They've questioned the nature of his exuberance on stages in various parts of the country so far. So he's got to strike a balance, but primarily introduce himself to delegates in the hall, inspire them to get out and work for the Harris-Walz ticket, and also introduce himself to voters all over the country and inspire them to get out and vote for the Democrats in November.
Well, Simon, just in case anyone thinks this is going to be easy, we heard from Hillary Clinton earlier and her loss to Donald Trump in 2016. Is that being seen as a reminder that nothing can be taken for granted in this presidential race?
Well, I think that's right. I mean, speaker after speaker, and we heard Barack Obama earlier there, have emphasized the need for Democrats not to think that this is going to be easy. And all the polling suggests it's not going to be easy. This is still basically a 50-50 country. And the outcome of this election, as ever, is going to be decided in those all-important battleground states that the candidates will now descend upon on a continuing basis between Friday and Election Day. There are delegates that we've spoken to over the last couple of days who have said, look, you know, 2016, when Hillary Clinton ran for the presidency, it was just too early, perhaps, for a woman to think that she could become president of the United States. They are expressing more optimism about Kamala Harris, and that's also partly based on Kamala Harris's personality, which they will be looking to witness for themselves on Thursday night when this convention wraps up. So they're more confident about the possibility of a woman becoming president, and Kamala Harris, of course, becoming the first woman of color to be president of the United States. But they know they are going to have to go back to their home states and work very hard if that outcome is to be brought across the line.
Thanks, sir. Simon Marks live for us there in Chicago.